Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the wait. We have no time to hesitate, no time to breathe, no time to focus. We are getting straight into the match. We had some technical issues, I say on our side, but obviously my side. I am Egder, joined by Natnif today. We're going to be covering Quick Esports versus SrPeakCheck, lower bracket run, Battle of the Titans. I mean, we know quite a lot about these two teams because we have seen them before, but as we said, time is of the essence. I think we should just get straight into our match. Bans are going to be Juno and Sojourn. So the Juno, that's going to be a bit of a struggle for SrPeakCheck themselves to deal with. But again, they've already gone over to Lucio style. They're not going to be doing too bad whatsoever.
Yeah, pretty comfortable picks across the board from both sides. Does mean because that Sojourn ban, we haven't seen Stone Drop coming out on the Ashe instead, but already Willis finding the first pick out of nowhere. Rabbit out of the hat is exactly what you see, but Fi and Dip going band for band on the Junkrat. Not what I expected to see here, Egder, but hey, I'm not going to say it's an unwelcome sight in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea that came out from SrPeakCheck. They sent Cloudy on a very far angle to pressure out the backline, but they left Ghost a little stranded, a little up in the air, and obviously the lethality that you have on Hazard means that you can just assassinate a target like that incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking to see, can they repeat this performance again? Willis already feeling pretty low, but right now it's just Ghost pumping out damage, but Yoham gonna be pinned down against the wall, and now the hand is on the neck for Quick Esports. SrPeakCheck will take the point pretty easily there, and I mean, we are seeing Dip and Fi mirror on this Junkrat. Pretty interesting there. I think maybe more of a mental warfare than anything from Dip. We'll have to see if that can turn into physical warfare. Now, it looks to be coming up. We've got some explosives around in the corner on both sides. That Junkrat, Tyre, and Bob noticeably ahead of everything SrPeakCheck except that window from Ghost 91.
Yeah, and Fi actually going to be taken out early. That's a whole lot of damage that's now gone from the side of SrPeakCheck, and Cloudy just sort of sat on point right now, shield botting for a while, can only live for so long. Windows here from Ghost to help reinforce that Reinhardt. Dip is on the angle, has been checked out but trapped up, and Cloudy, the Immortality field was just a second too late. Ghost and Cloudy, I mean, you know, the Bap and the Rhines, a combo as old as time, but you can't always save the Rhine when they go for a pin like that.
Yeah, Dip might be the name, but right now it's a Junkrat Chasm, and looking to make further proof of that with a big tire as well. And yeah, that's how the kind of statements you want to make. Yes, everyone was so right about, you know, SrPeakCheck have their game like to play, and can you deny that game, you know, coming out, deny the Reinhardt, deny these silly picks. But right now, Dip is taking the challenge to them and beating them at very much their own style of play.
And trying to push out here is absolutely brutal for SrPeakCheck when you have the junk to deal with. Has been marked on this angle by the Venture, but Danid not actually able to get out. Ended up popping out of the burrow just a little too soon, and so Drop's able to take their head clean off.
Yeah, this is such a good start for Quick Esports. This is the map you really expect SrPeakCheck to be thriving on. These close quarters engagement, perfect for Cloudy to get swinging, but he now has this rush to deal with. The Beacon to try and keep him alive. There's another tire. Will it find success? No, Fi not able to claim any kills.
Sound Barrier was perfect. It was able to completely deny the value from the Junkrat Ultima. And, I mean, Cloudy did use the Shatter. Didn't seem to get anything with it in all of the chaos that has ensued. 85% on the point. Quick Esports still large, still in charge. They still have a Bob. They can toss this on the point to make the touch from SrPeakCheck as brutal as possible. Spy has gone over to the Tracer to get said touch.
Danet's having to use their Venture ult there so early just to clear a little bit of breathing room, but will they have to do anything with that the breath of fresh air? It's looking unlikely now as that Bob is in play. It's all going to be on Ghost's window, but Cloudy's already fallen, and Fi's so low HP, taken down to 0 finally.
Yeah, this point is so snowbally when you're running a character like the Junkrat. When Dip is able to get control of the point, get control of those chokes, it's brutal. Think of what you have to push through that narrow choke against. You know, you're talking Ashe Dynamites, Junkrat spam, Kiri headshots, Hazard Wall. It's set up perfectly, so at the moment the Rhine walks in, you can isolate them and possibly not kill them, but, you know, get so much value and damage off the back of that. Now coming over to this next point, Symmetra is not actually banned here. So that's a potential option that SrPeakCheck have. Seems that Quick Esports are already preempting the Brian composition with the Farah. And yeah, we're going to see the Symmetra. So we know how SrPeakCheck are going to play this. Get themselves on the point and stay there. And then it becomes a little bit of a game against the clock for both of these teams of can Quick poke them out and deal enough damage to dislodge them from the point before their control of it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, Quick have seen these games before, but can they avoid the deja vu that so many teams will be looking to stray away from? Because right now, at SrPeakCheck, they already have control of the point. It's going to be on Dip and Soap to get these angles, get these nice splash damage from Dynamites from these engagements to really clear things out. And Dip is already doing that. A boop onto Ghost, not going to claim his life, but he's made his presence aware. Ghost, though, is the main threat to Dip.
Oh my goodness.
Find the aggression, but yes, Cloudy looking to make sure that it's not a comfortable position to poke and play from for Quick Esports. They're going to be taking that aggression out into the fight, but they've maybe left Fi stranded, and Ghost have to try and get the lamp to come and save them. There's so much resources trying to save everyone, but it's not going to be enough. Ghost will be the first to fall.
Yeah, and for Quick, that's the name of the game. You don't just win a straight-up fight, you have to bleed SrPeakCheck of resources by putting in damage and forcing them out of position. Of course, SrPeakCheck get the first cap, as their comp would, but 15%, you're not too unhappy about that. You know, you're able to force an Immortality Field, a May Ice Block, and all sorts of resources. Meanwhile, when Willis in trouble, you still have your own Suzu later in the fight. So a great management of the resources from Quick Esports there. PeakCheck going to see whether they want to TP straight onto point or get a little more creative with it.
It's looking to be the tried and tested TP straight onto the point. But I think a nice boot there really disrupts the spanner in the wrench, turning into a whole car crash as Willis and Dip will clean things up. I mean, you know what SrPeakCheck are going to play there. You know, we've seen some creative, some maniacal maneuvers come out from the minds of SrPeakCheck. That is not really one of them, though. That's a pretty bog standard and easy to deal with play.
Yeah, old dogs aren't going to learn new tricks a whole lot of the time, as Dip, looking a bit cheeky, wants to take out Ghost before the fight even begins. His setup in a position with this barrage, going to rain it down, but a nice Immortality Field there. Ghost really on the same page as the rest of the team, and Willis caught on the engage, expected to have all that damage from the barrage to follow up on, but it was all but ineffectual. Means that 58% on the point is going to be the flip, and SrPeakCheck now with a late, not quite a late kill onto the Ashe, but still very good control of the point. That's,
Natsuki, yeah.
Ball ride, brother.
Yeah, gonna really. I think that's a play just to emphasize Yoham's clutch, you know, because that what can happen, and that can really. Those kind of staggers can really spell disaster, but Yoham was able to save Snowdrop, and, you know, Natsuki just wanted to point out, you know, the merit of that action, but that is going to nearly allow SrPeakCheck to start to match the point percentage that Quick had to fight so hard for, and have so many ults coming up. They had to go 4 ults to the 3, actually 4 ults as well for Quick Esports, but going to be a little bit more tricky to get in place, especially when Ghost is just aimbotting Dip out of the air.
It's interesting how SrPeakCheck play. They don't plot themselves directly on the point. They put themselves at the back of it. However, Quick Esports have gone through with Bob and now a sound barrier invested as well. Despite SrPeakCheck getting the first pick through onto Dip, the rest of Quick Esports were able to follow up, and they only used 2 ultimates there. SrPeakCheck, of course, only used their wall, so they are going to have pretty good economy coming into the next fight.
Yeah, the time bank is getting closer and closer to 99 for both of these teams. SrPeakCheck can't be too unhappy. You know, they do win a slightly favor on the ult trade. They have to find a way to make these ults work, and you can't do that if your Reaper's already dead. Yo Hamburger, no cheese needed. It's just the raw meat, the power of the headshots coming on through to just brute force this win, Edgar. I'm not sure what Fi was even thinking there, just walking and egoing into Yoham.
I mean, for the Rhine comp, you can't just be on the same page. You have to be on the exact same syllable, and Fi seem to just be, like, you know, in another volume altogether. TP's in early before the rest of the team. Had that come through at the time of the rest of the players coming through, that would have been perfectly fine, but it wasn't. Taken out early. Sound barrier going to be used in response to Willis's downpour. Not going to catch anything, but Dip with 2 raining down hell and fury on the members of SrPeakCheck from the sky. They were able to get a quick flip of the point, but 99% for Quick Esports and a desperation use of the ultimate from Fi. Nothing is going to be dying there except for Fi themselves at the very end of the day, and it's just going to be a late touch on the point for LH Cloudy. A clean 2-0 victory on Lijiang Tower is going to, I mean, that's going to be a big dent in SrPeakCheck's confidence going into the next couple of maps.
Yeah, I mean, we did hear from Cloudy themselves. They thought it'd be a close smash, but I think close would kind of be, you'd have to be pretty high on that SrPeakCheck copium to be calling that one close, Egg, because yes, well, the point percentage would suggest maybe that was the case a little bit for that second point. it did not feel like that. Fi, Darned, Cloudy, Ghost, all like you said, not on the same page, all running off with their own goals and missions in mind. And yes, you can't be too rigid against that kind of competition that Quick were throwing. You can't just sit in the kill box that is that point, because they'll get the fair angle on you, they'll get the Ashe angle on you, they'll get the Kiriko angle on you. So that was the right play when the SrPeakCheck had the point. They were on to it, but their retakes were just. They were just like, we've seen them all before, and I mean, I think you have to see that. If you don't see that coming from a mile away, I'm not sure Quick would have made it here in the first place. Quick are showing why they are here and showing what they are looking to be continuing. Cloudy thinks it's going to be a 3-2 at the moment with the path that Quick are setting. If SrPeakCheck keep fumbling here and there, trip over, and it could already be an 0-3 against them. Before you blink.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-2 very much on track, though, in fairness, that would have been on track, regardless of who won the first map. But obviously, next map, I do believe this has already been picked. Picks and bans have been done. Havana is the next map. Now, this is a bit of a favorite for SrPeakCheck. It's something they like to go to, of course, when thinking about the Reinhardt style that they love to play. On the defensive side, it is particularly effective because of the power of sorry, fighting through some illnesses today to get the action to you. We are looking at the spawn camp strategy, which is very defensively viable. And I was breaking this down a little bit on the last map, something I want to go a bit more into. SrPeakCheck, despite the fact that they got caught out many times trying to retake Lijiang Night Market, their strats are anything but one-dimensional, right? We know exactly how the sim may goes. You plant yourself on the point, right in the middle of it, on Night Market after the TP. You put down all of your turrets, and you just say, bam, walk at us now. SrPeakCheck don't do that. They like to put themselves at the back of the point. It seems as a way to sort of avoid themselves from being encircled. They still have good vision, not just of the front two chokes that the tank's going to be walking through, but also all of the flank angles that might be being threatened as well. Really tightens up the space in which those DPS are able to work with to get in, right? So SrPeakCheck, maybe silly Reinhardt team, possibly. However, it's obviously an incredibly talented silly Reinhardt team with one of the best Reins in Europe and some of the best DPS and supports in Europe as well, which is the spectacular European players all around. So that generally helps.
Yeah, I think the SrPeakCheck do have a beloved spot in a lot of the EMEA viewers' hearts, but for a number of reasons. A lot of the, older, more revered personalities, and new talent they often bring in. Having the more kind of typical Western style of brawl we like to see, and wish we could see have more success on the international stage. And they really, they are kind of like, they are a one-trick pony, but they're a damn fast and flashy one at that. They know all the tricks, all the niche, all, the little individual miracles they can make happen with and we say that it's a one-trick pony, but only really talking about maybe Ghost and Cloudy here being the limitations in the hero pool. Darned, Fi, LP all being very much more flexible in those areas and opening up a lot more options. I think that looking at this next map, I'm not sure if we know what the hero bans are going to be, but those are, I think, a real hurdle for SrPeakCheck to get over. We know that Quick have already shown a lot of prowess and a lot of forethought into these bans for how effective they can be. So what are your thoughts on that, Egda? What do you think they're going to go with for Havana here?
So Juno and Sojourn have already been banned. So both of those characters cannot be banned again by either team, I don't believe. So Juno, of course, SrPeakCheck. The Lucio sort of traditionally makes the most sense when you're running the Ryan competition, but recently Juno has entered that position quite a lot. It's actually Ball and Symmetra that have been banned for Havana. I'm interested to see who banned what. I'm going to assume SrPeakCheck were the ones who banned the Wrecking Ball, and it was Quick were the ones who banned the Sim, because that would make the most sense, wouldn't it?
Yes.
I mean, the ball is not spectacular on Havana at all, but it deals with the Reinhardt very, very well. There is essentially nothing you can do against the ball. You can't protect your backline. You can't protect yourself. They are free to do whatever the hell they want. So getting rid of that's a good option. And then, of course, on the Quick Esports side, that makes sense as well. The Ryan composition is going to be enabled by the TPs from the Symmetra. However, PeakCheck like to run Cloudy on the Zarya here. Now, against the Winston of the Ultimates yesterday, this didn't do so well. How about the Hazard of Quick instead?
Yeah, I think the Ultimate game is so heavily weighing on SrPeakCheck's mind that it really struggled against the board. You can see that kind of almost paranoia coming out in terms of the hero bans, but there's a whole new force to be the phantasmal terror in your nightmares. That's Dip on the Junkrat. This close hold already buying a lot of time, but it looks to be broken relatively soon here as the first two fell blows go the way of SrPeakCheck. Make that a third as Willis will be falling. And yeah, this is, I think, SrPeakCheck's very comfortable composition. Their bread and butter, they can make a whole host of sandwiches out of. And Quick Esports are going to be going back towards more of their typical style, away from that Junkrat and back to putting Dip on the Genji. He put up a massive performance yesterday on this character, but it's going to take a whole heap of effort to repeat it here as well.
Yeah, and Dan had opened up that fight with an absolute mad flank. Loves to do it, the lad on the Venture. And that did sort of break the fight wide open. It forced Snowdrop to push into a very strange position. Dip's dash doesn't get a lot of purchase, but is able to get out. This is the window for Dana to return onto this high ground. Maybe teleport across here, but remember, you always have to remember about the point. That's what SrPeakCheck is so good at doing, just sort of overwhelming you with concerns of the objective. Great assassination onto Snowdrop. Yes, Dana's able to counter it out, but Ghost lands the headshots onto Willis, who engaged at the same time, ended up getting caught out as their backline was falling. Means PeakCheck, they have a pretty blank check to push this one all the way to the end of first.
Yeah, just a great ability to recognize when someone overstays their welcome for the side of Quick Esports. SrPeakCheck now closing in on this third of the first point capture here. The final third all on their minds. But Ghost trying to run for the hills, but it's Willis that sent scattering his head. And can he run away from the orbital terrain? No, it's unescapable. And right now, the only thing holding back SrPeakCheck from getting the third point is the beat and the aggression. Now the blade from Dip. And that looks to be able to turn on. He actually dodged the shatter as well and get two for his troubles. Dip really making me eat my words how much effort you have to put in, because that was looked like a lazy amount of effort to clean up the entirety of that fight for the boy.
Understatement of a century, Dip just turned into a freak of nature right there. Whatever sandwiches SrPeakCheck were planning on making, Dip just gave them a knuckle sandwich to the face with that blade. It was phenomenal to turn the fight. They did also have to invest a sound barrier into it. SrPeakCheck, they did use their orbital ray, possibly their strongest ult, but both DPS ultimates and the window, that's certainly not an economy you're going to be sad about. So Quick are going to go, as their namesake, Quick, and take Ilfie out of the fight before it even begins. Snowdrop takes an angle with the overclock, Cloudy down as well. That is exactly how you play a fight with an ult deficit.
Yeah, they know they cannot win a fair fight there, but hey, SrPeakCheck are also not playing this one by the books. They're also looking to change things up, finding a nice couple of trades there. Fi running over onto this payload to get it pushing, and even though Quick get the first couple blows, SrPeakCheck hit back a lot harder.
Yeah, of course, we still have Fi's Death Blossom to work with. This is going to be a problem when Quick are forced to fight on the point, the small area. But you're taken out before you're even able to use it! The Kitsune Rush from Yoham meant that the damage was simply too much of a burden for Fi to bear. Had the Wraith form available, didn't end up using it, plus a use of the downpour from Willis just to solidify things. And guess what's charged up again now? The blade from Dip. It's not just Fi who's on the field anymore. You've got another DPS prodigy to consider on the other end of things.
Yeah, Dip is really challenging the old dogs with some new tricks here. But right now, it's going to have to come down to old reliable Fi with that Reaper versus the blade from Dip. Dip already going in very aggressively, and Fi having to use that to just zone away Dip. That's a big tool now out of the tool belt for SrPeakCheck. That Cloudy's throwing himself onto the point, putting his life on the line, but Ghost able to keep him up and take the life of Natsuki as well.
And SrPeakCheck gonna take the point off of that. I can only assume there was maybe some kind of ult tracking mistake coming out from Quick. They possibly thought that SrPeakCheck had way more tools to work with than they actually did. Dip pulled the blade very aggressively against lots of brawlers in an enclosed environment, and that's a recipe for disaster. You got absolutely zero value out of it. SrPeakCheck were able to get themselves on the point, and now SrPeakCheck have their Shatter and their Orbital Ray.
Yeah, you can already see the mental impact that fight had. Right there, fight was just ducking and dodging and serving, playing with Dip there, but Dip and Willis are not playing around. Managed to trade out onto Darned. But yeah, they have a couple ults coming out, another SrPeakCheck rather, have been able to really match this in the downtime between fights. But Dip, the unmatched force in the lobby at the moment, you're going to need a couple of ultimates to match what he's doing just in these neutrals right now. And so send 5-pack in with some, some thoughts on how to maybe be a bit more sportsmanlike towards his competition.
Yeah, Dip is putting Fire on the back burner right now, playing the range perfectly and then dashing in, getting the burst damage at the perfect time. Cloudy is simply trying to walk right now, and Quick Esports simply saying no to him as they try and push his high ground, but it's very telegraphed right now. Snowdrop pops the overclock, finds Standard in an awkward position, able to take him out. But SrPeakCheck, they actually choose to engage into this anyway. It's an orbital ray used outside in a bit of an awkward position as a response to Willis's downpour. And ultimately, Quick Esports, the ones that end up on top.
Yeah. Quick again, just winning with their better ult usage in there. 2-for-2 trade. SrPeakCheck invested 2 pretty damn effective ones there. Pretty universally applicable, but Quick able to make just as much value with just as much effort. Fi playing with fire there as well, but it's all going to be on the execution of this Shatter and this window for the side of SrPeakCheck. Quick have a lot more versatile options with these ultimates, probably looking at another Blade, hopefully backed up with a beat or a rush from one of his ever so faithful supports, but no, it's Willis without any backing, just all brute strength from his own arms to claim the first
blow.
Look
at the time. Look at the time, 15 seconds left. You cannot afford to lose anyone right now, let alone one of your DPS picks. Now, sure, you're good on the point with Shatter and Fi with the Blossom. Kind of has to be that game changer ultimate, but again, you're running into so many resources for Quick Esports. Blade with a beat to reinforce it. Dip going to be putting the knives to the members of SrPeakCheck right now. Taken down in the process, but not before Ilpy's gone as well. Window in this enclosed environment means the trades are slightly better for the side of SrPeakCheck right now.
There are no supports.
Be a bit of a shepherd of fire right now to teleport through onto Snowdrop. How's the 1v1 going to go? Snowdrop 4 HP, didn't stand a bloody chance. Rest of Quick Esports trying to touch the point. They do not want to let this go right now. You have to be careful of Daned, who has returned to the fight and is holding the choke down. Possibly holding it a little too eagerly. Where are you going, young man? But you're drawing attention, and it's going to be Genji forced to get the point. Daned's down. Ghost is gone. Fi spins to win on the point. You're able to get Dip out of the fight as well. Willis falls low, but Yoham's Kitsune Rush means that you can reinforce the hazard with even more resources than they already get in any given fight. And Cloudy's right now just swinging at air right now. Doesn't have anything to work with. The rest of the members of Quick Esports juggling the point perfectly, and Ilpy not able to get back in time there. Quick Esports going to hold SrPeakCheck just shy a second.
Yeah, that's such a difficult situation for SrPeakCheck to break through. Because yes, like you said, they're really confident on that point. They really have, that's their comfort zone to just work through and get to pummeling. But they also know that if they just try and force the point under the high ground from Quick Esports, Quick have all the luxury in the world to just shoot and, fish in the barrel underneath them. So they have to send Cloudy up over and over again. He wasn't able to employ the Shatter effectively. His pins, yes, got them briefed up the high ground, but these are all characters that are so happy and easy. 3 of them can wall climb, for goodness sake, just to get back on that situation of comfort, and it's such a difficult fight for SrPeakCheck to win. And unfortunately, even though some big heroics did come through from Daned on the venture, those trades at the end, taking Ghost out, taking out Shiny Embers, meant that final fight was just a scuffed scramble of staggers back onto that final point, while Quick were able to re-emerge with full force, even more so with that Kitsune Rush from Yoham.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush was a bit of a game changer, but Quick Esports, again, they had a great ult advantage coming into that, and I mean, SrPeakCheck did exceptionally well, considering that they were down Daned at the start of the fight, had been found with about 15 seconds remaining. Ultimately, Daned loves to go really aggressive on the venture, but it might have backfired on that last point, and now we're going to be seeing it. The standard spawn camp coming out Quick Esports. Snowdrop did contemplate. Bro, how long are you going to stay in that ground, brother? I mean, about as long as you would like to. But Ghost has been taken down from up high. A stray shot by Snowdrop's gonna get him out of the fight. And without your back, you, or any of your supports for that matter, SrPeakCheck cannot continue this spawn camp for longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot more people in the ground than just Dana, thanks to the plays from Snowdrop on that Sojourn. And yeah, not as effective as a spawn hold as you'd like from this Ryan composition. But given the recent changes to the map, it's not to be, it's not as easy to pull off as possible. Dip, though, on the venture, very happy to keep matching Dana situations, already going in super aggressively, but that is... aggressive is an understatement, and thank goodness that's get punished, because that would have been a tragedy if not the case. But no, Fi is on the case, on the Cassidy, to shut it down.
Yeah, Dip has gone to the Danid school of venture gameplay, you see, but you are not him. Unfortunately, Lil Bro, you are not him. Yeah, something like that. So, already a problem there. Willis is, I mean... Wrecking Ball was already banned, so I see maybe why you're trying to play the Hazard like a Wrecking Ball, but that was just a little bit of a feed. There's no other better way to say it there, and a stray headshot from Fi. Nice late kill onto Snowdrop, but yeah, it feels like Quick Esports did sort of gift that fight win over to SrPeakCheck.
Yeah, while they do have 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, it's looking really sloppy right now, and that's giving SrPeakCheck all the time they need to compound these defenses, to build up their ultimates they're so good at snowballing into. It's going to take a big disruption like that headshot from Yoham to really open things up, and that should buy them the opening, but someone has to be the wedge to turn that opening into a real fight win. I think it's going to be Dip there, finding the second kill, but Ghost looking to turn it around with this window.
It's very easy to just ignore the window, though, when there is a venture in your backline, which you just need to come over to sniff out. Snowdrop on the angle on Sojourn. Lovely little heads-up play from SrPeakCheck to identify the isolated target, but it's just far little too late at this point. Quick Esports had all those picks. They're going to win the fight very efficiently, get the window out of SrPeakCheck, so 0 ults to 1 is always going to be a good look in your favor. That is proving to be as pesky as humanly possible. Venture, I mean... an obnoxious character, possibly by design and possibly by the gameplay.
Yeah, but that pesky little fly biting away seconds to turn back might feel like a swarm swallowing you whole. There's only a minute left for Quick to work with, and it's going to be all about the execution of these ults coming online. The first two is going to be the Hazard and that high noon, but immediately a headshot to shut it down. But neither team are finished. Investments from both sides. The blade from Dip, though, is the real showstopper. Claiming one, looking to take a second, and it will make that a third. And Dip is just continuing to make his name known. The legacy performance from the young man at the moment.
Yeah, Dip may not be from the UK, but he's putting on a London-esque performance there. 3 kills with the blade is sort of what you expect at this point. Now SrPeakCheck pushing out of this. They have a bit of an issue. It's the shatter from Cloudy, but so far it has struggled to find its mark necessarily. Meanwhile, nothing is really going to stop Snowdrop from just getting onto the high ground, taking shots. The support on Danid is immeasurable as the Venture's caught out in the open there. It's going to have to be very careful of their positioning. Shatter there, solo onto Willis. The Suzu is good, but it's not good enough, and you know, the solo shatter may not be flashy, but it gets you the fight win. At this point for SrPeakCheck, you're going to be very blessed to have that.
Oh, Yoham, though, threading the needle on that one to find that late turn to LP. I'm not sure it'll be anything more than just a bit of a warning shot, to be honest. But Snowdrop, I think using that overclock there is quite impactful, as that's such a crucial element that could really be used to knock down, spearhead the offenses, and Dip sniffing out Darned.
Where are you, Darned?
Yeah, Darned is off on a little expedition, off to the monastery, studying to further embolden their venture play. But right now, it's all about that Reinhardt in the front, but the Genji in the back is the real person of interest. And Dip has once again opened things up, but Ghost trying to shut things down here.
I mean, yeah, the opening pick came out from Dip, but you looked at the health bars of Quick Esports, they're all so incredibly low. You know, Lucio Kiri is good healing, but it's not fast healing necessarily. And SrPeakCheck were able to get another pick onto them before they could stabilize. That being said, eventually force it into a 3v4 situation. The Quick Esports can advance for at least a little bit longer, with Cloudy trying to, you know, spearhead the rest of the team on top of this high ground fight. Flanked with the high noon. It's going to be a little worthless, for lack of a better term here, and it's going to be taken down. And I mean, this is the sync-up play. You got a slash from the Genji, a slash from the Hazard, and what more can you even do about that? Look where the golden box of victory is, and look at the members of SrPeakCheck. Wait a minute, you can't. They're dead. They're only just coming out of spawn.
And there's a wall in their face already. Can the touch even come through? It's looking very unlikely. And there it is. The impossibility has become reality. The second map has been taken by Quick Esports. And yes, that 3-2 prediction from Cloudy is on the cards, but now it has the added challenge of requiring a reverse sweep to come through. And especially looking at the hero bans, it's not exactly like Quick's trump card has been played yet. That Reinhardt ban is still available. And I think very quickly, if you're Quick, you're thinking you can end this now. You can land that killing blow, ban the Reinhardt, and get this over and done with. A lot quicker than I think a lot of people here were expecting.
That, and I mean, we're talking about the Reinhardt ban, but we also need to consider, okay, I'm going to tell you the next 3 maps, right? Numbani, Colosseo, Hanaroka, right? Now, maybe Colosseo, you're thinking, okay, yeah, obviously ban the Reinhardt. I mean, that was the map where yesterday, I believe, if I recall correctly, SrPeakCheck were able to take a map off the ultimates on Colosseo, I believe, playing the Reinhardt, you know, as they would, right? They are one of the best teams at this composition. When it is forced on a map where it is very, very strong, they're probably just going to win. Before we get there, we have to get through Numbani. I mean, I often like to talk about how things go together, like peanut butter and jelly or ketchup and mustard. I mean, Ryan and Numbani sort of go together like water and motor oil. Not particularly well. You can't really drink a glass of motor oil. It won't do very good for your insides. And you can't exactly fill up your car with a tank of water either. So things are going to be a problem here for SrPeakCheck, whether the Ryan ban comes through or not. Now, Cloudy isn't necessarily a one-trick pony. Has shown willingness to play the Sigma, sometimes even the Doomfist, warming up against Gas Tier 3 for, I believe it was yesterday's matches, ended up punching off the map in a warm-up scrim again as Doomfist, which is, it's definitely a showing of good things to come, hopefully.
Yes.
However, you are a little bit hamstrung by this. That being said, if you want a silver lining for SrPeakCheck, the sim ban is gone. Is Ryan still absolutely, for lack of a better term, ass on Numbani? Yes. Does a sim cover for Ryan's weaknesses? To a degree. We are really high on the copium because Quick have looked absolutely phenomenal this series, especially Dip. I want to give a shout out to that guy on the Genji. Freak of nature, by the way. But SrPeakCheck, things aren't looking good for them. If they can get through Numbani, then get themselves to Colosseo. Colosseo and Hanaroka are very good maps for their style, but they have a massive, massive hill to climb before they get there.
Yeah, I mean, the hill is, the perfect representation. Those high grounds are really going to be, an impossibility to overcome without the symmetry. So I'm very glad to be having that on the cards. I do think, though, it is just, like you said, there's so many angles, so many issues for Numbani that's going to pose in the way of SrPeakCheck to continue their journey. So right now, even though there are some, former British Hurricane players on SrPeakCheck, the winds seem to really be blowing the way of Quick Esports. They are the force of natures at the moment that are just wreaking havoc across the board. And yeah, it's definitely going to take a lot of ingenuity to overcome this Numbani issue. But if there's anyone that can do it, if there's anyone that's played these situations thousands, dozens, hundreds of times before, it's going to be this team with the backing of Mr. LH Cloudy's individual prowess on these situations. Now, looking to the future, as that is quite, a different, looking at the current map score, there is a possibility we might just go pretty quickly into the next matchup. I believe that is going to be against the winner of Incendia, which is the hybrid Skyle Cookie Cloud team, versus Vision Esports. My would have to be on Vision Esports. I think that Incendia are a very impressive team in their own right, but not really, I think, able to match a lot of the clutch and star power that some of the Vision players have on them. So I think if Quick can continue to momentum, we'll pretty be, approaching that exciting clash soon enough.
Yeah, and remember that again, there are 5 teams that will get through these open qualifiers in order to qualify. So there are a couple teams who were just invited off the rip. Those were Gen G, Twisted Minds, and Virtus Pro. They're partner teams, so they automatically qualified to stage 1 of the Overwatch Champions Series. Yesterday, the people who got through the upper bracket were the Ultimates, Sakura Esports, Team Peps, and Alcadzia. Alcadzia, who ended up Alcadzia ended up offing Quick Esports yesterday. Oh no, sorry, it was Exblivione yesterday who ended up knocking off Quick Esports. Who, I mean, if we get all the way to the low bracket final, that could be a rematch that we are in to be seeing. SrPeakCheck, they had a clean 3-0 against Thunders in their first matchup, and then went down against the Ultimates to be dropped into the lower bracket today here. But there is only one final slot for these teams to compete for. Only 5 teams will get that. I'll get the open slots from the qualifiers, and 4 of them have already bloody qualified. So, you know, EXO, Mavedron, Diempero 0907, Incendia, Vision, PeakCheck, and Quick. 8 teams battling for 1 spot. This could be quite a long day. Of course, we are the Quick affiliated stream. So, yeah, so we are the Quick affiliated stream. So, surprise, surprise, we're covering the Quick Esports matches. If for whatever reason SrPeakCheck end up reverse sweeping, then we're done with the stream for the day. Now, third map actually seems to be Colosseo. I think there was a little bit of an issue on the Faceit page there. How odd. Yeah, Colosseo is actually our third map today. Well, never mind. And Hazard has been banned by SrPeakCheck, but perhaps even more damning, it almost feels like Quick Esports are trying to bait SrPeakCheck right here. BAP has been banned. They're still not banning the Rhine, but they're banning like the one character that makes Rhine eminently very playable.
I think looking at the side of Quick Esports, you can maybe already see why, because yes, while Baptiste is very good at pairing with that Reinhardt, they're also a pretty good answer to the Pharah that Dip is currently hovering over. And I think this is really, you know, we talked about how Numbani is the home and the hopes and dreams of that final win of continuing this journey for Quick Esports. But Colosseo, I think, is very much the antithesis of this. SrPeakCheck's best hopes rely on building momentum on this map. And right now, Quick are looking to make sure to shut down the confidence they have with this Reinhardt, with the pretty typical rank counterstop of the Pharah.
I also did just recall that by banning tank first, it means that Quick Esports couldn't have banned tank. So they didn't have the option to ban the Reinhardt on this map, even if they wanted to. SrPeakCheck, however, going to go for a total map flip. Essentially, they're trying to pull the bot away from them because it's much easier to pull a bot away from the enemy team than to try and push it into them, right? Cloudy has to manage resources very carefully right now. Again, you do not have that BAP's damage and healing output, so it's really a game of inches right now. However, this is exactly what we were talking about. The point has been dragged away from SrPeakCheck, but a great TP play onto the backline means that they are going to be torn into shreds by the members of SrPeakCheck, and the early lead from Quick Esports is not going to last for very long at all.
Yeah, they do. There are some quite impactful trades there. Fi getting missing the rest of his posse, back to being a lone wolf. This time, though, the flank wasn't as bizarre as we saw on Havana. It was definitely empowered up by Dana. Dim TP to really enable him to just let loose with that revolver into the team. But Dip now just have a little more free reign while Fi is waiting to get back into the fray. And the moment, look how fast he's already built up towards Barrage. He's going to need to be big to take out this aggression, especially with SrPeakCheck's ult situation and their newly acquired high ground. Dip, though, trying to make it work, but it's not going to be the case. So explode in the face of Darned, as will Willis to Fi.
Yeah, and now this means that we are eminently closer and closer to forward spawns. Once forward spawns are gone for Quick Esports, then you might as well sort of call the bell at that point. They really need to fight desperately over this, and Dip has made the adaptation over to the Genji. Nice idea there from Dip to sort of use the barrage in that Kitsune rush, but everyone just sort of turned to focus him a little too quickly.
Yeah, and the best response to the orbital ray is either running away or the Queen. Oh, and that will be the first option that Quick will employ. But that does mean that point is getting ever closer to being captured. Acquiring those forward spawns, but now it's Yoham's turns with the Kitsune Rush and Snowdrop looking to find some headshots of his own. But right now, the body shots from the Smasher Orbs are taking him solo. Darned and Fi working together, Batman and Robert, to take out the evil Mr. Snowdrop with his overclock. But the trade has been found by Fi, but oh, what other shatter. The cleanse will keep Willis alive, but will it be able to stand the blow with the furious onslaught? And Natsuki keeping Quick in the game, buying them more time to try and re-engage her, and time is what Dip works best with. He's able to make every second count with a kill onto LP.
Natsuki, absolutely the hero of that fight. Willis was dead to rights. Sound barrier meant they could stay in the fight a bit longer. Charge up to that Queen ultimate. If provided you're able to, force the Suzu out of Ghost, should be a free win. LP dead, but Danid's going to go with the wall anyway.
I swear LP literally just died. Was that a cross-map kill from Yoham? I believe it was, and yeah, what a performance. Yeah, I think LP was just walking out of the spawn, so Yoham, looking to not even let Ghost and Co get started is, yeah, that is a really rough situation. Exactly what Quick need to be fighting back and shooing their way towards matching this point progress here.
Fi making the swap over to the Reaper, force yourself to have a little bit more frontline presence and survivability, and Danid going over to the Venture as well. So you sacrifice maybe the ability of your Reinhardt and the damage over time of the Sim for just the raw burst damage and pick potential that the Venture gives you. Willis going to have a hell of a time to try and use this Rampage. Again, Ghost having a Kitsune Rush means that it's going to be very, very viable to Suzu. And yeah, there it is. Suzu is going to catch on to most members of SrPeakCheck. Dan had taken down anyway, and the Suzu didn't actually get onto Cloudy, so he was low. Couldn't participate in the fight for as long as possible. When you're so close to forward spawns, yeah, you want to put the nail in the coffin right now. You want to make this the coup de grace for SrPeakCheck. Shatter going to be hitting just Yoham, who gets stuck between a Ryan and a hard place, but Cloudy stranded alone on the point, going to be swinging at absolute nothingness there. Now that's going to be the cap and the forward spawns claimed here for Quick Esports, and they have not just the forward spawns, but also the forward-thinking ult advantage to help them in the next fight.
Yeah, you really wish you hadn't thrown that Shatter out in desperation, but you will throw out the Fire Strike instead to claim Dip, and that will start your journey back towards trying to regain the lead. But Quick, they know they're not playing to further extenuate that lead. They're just playing to play these neutrals, play their advantageous high grounds on the situation. So SrPeakCheck, they have to really think this through, what they can do to get through. Now, down the Symmetra, so Cloudy does not have that free vertical ability he used to have that got them this initial lead in the first place.
However, you have to consider the orbital ray in all of this. SrPeakCheck are very content to just glue themselves to the bot, glue themselves to the ray, and stay alive for a long time, because Quick Esports, I mean, they have to contest eventually. They're able to force maybe a Wraith form out of Fire, who has built up to this Death Blossom in all of the proceedings. I wonder if this is something that Quick Esports are ready for. They were ready for Danid. That's sure as hell the case, going to be taken down there. But Willis dead means that your tank presence is gone, and Cloudy going to be showing their own tank presence through onto Natsuki. Snowdrop here is really the only individual left for Quick Esports who can contest this point, because there's 2 meters left. Dip is eventually able to get back, but what more do you have to do? You have to give that away by a margin of just 1 meter, Natnip.
Yeah, but that 1 meter is the win condition acquired. 3 minutes left on the clock, and again, it's the back and forth, but oh, it's back to the spawn room for Dip. Clobbered on the noggin by that Shatter, and Natsuki joining him quickly afterwards. Danid looking to try and get some late stagger kills there, but yeah, that is a crucial fight win there. But SrPeakCheck, LP would be up to another orbital ray, even though we practically just saw it used to acquire the lead. And Quick Esports are noticeably lacking a lot of those ultimate check marks. Yoham not going to be lacking his life there first, and now Willis and Dip finally looking to start building up, to start accelerating towards retaking the lead, but Ghost putting a spanner in the works. A nail in the road, trying to knock them off course, but again, it's now almost I think a 40 meter lead, a little bit under that for SrPeakCheck now, and it's going to have to take a lot of effort to overcome the advantageous positions, the highest grounds on the side of SrPeakCheck's point. But first, they have to get through this neutral fight, and Fi can see him scheming.
Yeah, you just know right now who wants to pop out and just hit everyone in the world. Just get a 7-man Blossom while you're at it. Why the hell not? Assassination attempt came through onto Snowdrop, is successful. The Rampage has come through. Fi taken out in the middle of their ult, but the Rampage was largely ineffectual. It just got cleansed up by Ghost. Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword for SrPeakCheck, you know? You can Rampage the Orbital Ray, but then there's a Suzu to counteract it. Then suddenly you're stuck in the middle of the enemy team while they're damage boosted and being healed from the damn sky.
Yeah, but right now, Yoham looking to try and show why Ghost should stick to the Baptiste, finding the double Kiriko headshot there. But yeah, Ghost, I mean, you talk about, you know, the nice headshots from Yoham, nice Kitsune rushes, but the Suzu is really what matters in the situation. There's not enough pressure being put onto Ghost to force that early. So every time Willis has this ult, it's just proving ineffective every time. But now the only ults available are Snowdrop and Natsuki. Shop has been a little bit quiet. This match is going to have to make a roar with these ultimates. So SrPeakCheck, they don't have anything in their back pocket ultimate-wise, but they always have that aggression from Cloudy. Natsuki already popping the beat to go in aggressively. Ghost falling so low. TP forced out. Can they hunt it down? But no, Ghost is the predator all along, finding his prey on Natsuki. The headshot acquired, and now it's a one-on-one situation here. Trades have been found, but on... I think that...
Natsuki used the beat! Natsuki used the beat! Now that's a tool that they're not going to have in this extended fight with a minute left here. I mean, they love to pair that beat up with Dip's Blade, but they're going to have to settle for, you know, just a shout instead, and it gets pulled out, and yeah, you wonder why you need all that extra HP. You get taken out of the fight anyway. You force a 3v2 situation for SrPeakCheck. They're going to take that any day of the week. They're going to now continue to just extend their lead further and further, make things look worse and worse for the members of Quick.
Yeah, SrPeakCheck looking to really run back the clock here. The Reaper was so prevalent in these past stages. Haven't seen him too much this one, but Fi showing why he's still a force of nature. And Darned, I mean, he might be an old dog, but he's still looking to get cheeky with it. Some mischief, some whimsy in his step as he looks for the flanking tectonic
27 years old,
setting up in the moment.
Yeah, 27 years old, guy's basically got dementia at this point, you know?
Yeah, but hopefully he won't forget how to be a star here. And there it is, that flank Stunk Shock. Now, where do you run? Back into Stunk Shock or into that rush? But they're all full head first into the ult from Willis. But again, there's the cleanse coming out from Ghost with a kill from Yoham. Evens up the numbers. The pin onto Willis, though, is spelling disaster for Quick Esports. Fi throwing out the victory lap, the victory dance emote of that Reaper Blossom. And SrPeakCheck will take their first map back in the series.
Yeah, and I want to give a huge shout to Daned there. Really put on a phenomenal performance. Of course, in some of the prior maps, the play seemed to be a bit more on the feedier side of things. Now it seemed to be a little more on the eatier side of things, for lack of a better term. The flanks were often having their desired effect, and most importantly, Daned was going in, causing chaos and living. Again, you don't even necessarily need to get kills. You know, you could see several fights where just, you know, a surprise Daned jump scare would force an early Suzu out from Quick Esports, and then suddenly they would have to fight without that. Plus, I think that, of course, not being able to ban Rhine was a bit of a problem, so we do have to give a bit of an edge to SrPeakCheck tactically there for sort of getting the hazard out the way, you know, protecting their Reinhardt pick at all possible costs while they could, and it worked out for them. And now I'm very confused as to how this works, because we were sort of told that the third map would be Numbani and the fourth map would be Colosseo. So I am going to very curious. Fourth map should be Numbani.
Yes.
Yeah. We also want to give some updates on the scores for the other matches. Ex Oblivione have 3-0'd Mavedron. Mavedron currently knocked out of the tournament, and Ex Oblivione onto their next match, which will probably be against D Impero, as they're currently 2-0 up against 0907. Team Skull and Vision Esports still 1-1. Their game is taking donkeys right now.
Yeah, quite a long issue. A long series. I'm assuming there must be some sort of technical issues that have caused that, but luckily we've been scot-free of that for once. We got it all out of the way earlier this year.
Yeah,
so...
I got it out. I got it out the way early on. I took all of the stream production issue bad luck, and now I'm not even sponsored, but Opera GX was the only browser that actually worked for me to get on VMix for some reason, which is, strange. So thanks, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't even use it. I just have it installed because a YouTuber told me to like 3 years ago. And now it's worked. Chrome didn't work.
Yeah.
Microsoft Edge didn't work. So here we are. I promise I'm not sponsored, but we are sponsored, aren't we?
Yes, Hummel, Vetnug Specialist, and GamerPad, all the lovely sponsors of Quick here. Very happy to bring you this exciting action. Hopefully, I think as well, it's looking to set up like a pretty. I'm being told it's a pretty close matchup between Scar and Vision. So either way the match goes, both those teams seem to be really hungry, starving even for that win. And even looking to play some unusual setups. I think Ana is being played by Vision at the moment. Very interesting across the board there for the future. But right now, looking at the present or even the past for Colosseo, that is the map you expect for SrPeakCheck to take. And assuming we're going to Numbani next, yeah, you get your map for SrPeakCheck, but it's going to take a monstrous effort to really come clean. Honestly, I mean, yeah, Darned and Fight really stepped up that match, but I think Reaper and Adventure are a lot more straightforward to have work when it comes to that map. We're going to have to see if they can continue those kind of carry level performances up next on Numbani. Assuming that is the map, we'll let you know immediately if that is going to be the case. But yeah, I mean, you still have some Metro Band, like you said.
So Quick are going, lobby's still on hold, so we have a lot of time to talk about. So I'm thinking right now, because when we go over to Numbani, Quick definitely want to play the Hazard again. It makes the most sense. Strongest tank, you access high ground, etc., yada yada. Bob's your uncle. Is it worth banning the Rhine here? Let's put it like this. So Quick probably want to... Hazard's already been banned, so that can't be banned again. So they don't have to necessarily worry about protecting like the tank pick, right? If you go to a 5th map, that's going to be Hanaoka. That is far worse for the enemy to run a Rhine on, right? You feel confident that you can beat SrPeakCheck when they're playing a Rhine on Numbani. If they have to play something else on Numbani, you're also pretty confident that you can beat them on that too, because, I mean, they're not as good when they are playing the not Reinhardt comps, right? Therefore, do they even bother banning Rhine here? Because, again, they feel confident they can win it anyway. And if, by some miracle, they end up losing to the Rhine, first of all, skill issue. Second of all, it means that they still have the ban in their pocket, because if they lose this map, they'll still get the ban pick for Hanaoka, where banning the Rhine makes infinitely more sense.
Yeah, definitely could become a pretty cautionary tale, like the old adage of the turtle versus the hare, where Quick trying to end it all here and now, ban your Rhine, screw your favorite character, yes, play your least favorite map as well. But yeah, these are the wildcard team. SrPeakCheck are, the dark horse. They nearly
Face it says Colosseo is the next map again, which
I think Face It is just a hater. Face It's just a big old liar. It's actually Suravasa, so none of what we've been told is true.
Oh, okay, so every narrative that we span about Numbani existing was just wrong, apparently.
These are all for the alternate universes. All the multi-dimensional viewers for Quick Esports channel. That's for you guys. But no, the reality we're in, it's going to be Suravasa, and the bans haven't come out just yet. But they're going to be Genji Moira from Quick and SrPeakCheck. Quick banning Genji. Okay. Has Dip done something in BC to annoy the rest of Quick? Like, has he just like slandered someone's mother in the voice chat? Because why would you do that to yourselves? Why would you do that?
I think Dip has committed crimes against the institution of Facebook.
I don't know.
And
something's gone awry.
Okay, no, we're being told that no, Genji has not in fact been banned.
No.
Okay, Moira was banned for Quick Esports. So that was just to protect their support picks, because neither team's going to be playing a Moira. So that was just to, I guess, protect their Lucio Curie backline. Because apparently LP will sometimes play DPS more. I don't even know. I think when we're getting this deep into the series, I don't think there's much a forethought given to bans at this point. And then Genji banned for SrPeakCheck. That's something which makes absolutely perfect sense. Have you seen Dip on Genji? That guy is a ninja in real life. We met him. He is a real life cyborg ninja. Very scary. Actually, very interesting.
I tried to meet him, but he disappears in a puff of smoke before I could get to slam anything. So, he's out of there.
Just tosses like smoke at his feet and just vanishes from the world. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he
then.
yelled out a
How
Genji
about
voice
that?
line and just dipped. But I do find it interesting though, because excuse me, we do say that later into the series there are the bans do get kind of more just for the sake of bans, but there is still the elephant in the room, or rather the Reinhardt in the room, because I feel like Cervasa is not a terrible map for Reinhardt. You can be quite effective on it, but maybe Quick are just a lot more happy at playing the hazard off a lot of these high grounds. Actually, Cloudy's not even going with the Reinhardt.
I was about to say, this is mostly because of first point. It has those two high grounds by the side of the first point, right? And Ryan has no way of getting up there, right? So Cloudy, Sigma is definitely the other character. If you can't force Reinhardt, Cloudy's probably just going to play Sigma. Is it perfect here? Not exactly, but maybe you should be able to keep Dip in check a little bit more than you would on Ryan at the very least. But Quick are going to have dive advantage here. They're going to have point advantage. Willis is sort of in Narnia right now, just trying to get this kill onto Fi, and it hasn't exactly worked, but Danid goes down anyway. It means that Quick are able to get first cap on the point. And remember, this isn't like Control. You don't really want to give an inch to your opponents, because otherwise they will take a mile.
Yeah, that point head's already racking up, but looking to be brought to a pretty swift end as the rest of Quick will recoalesce outside of the point, but I have to wait even longer now that Dip has been traded out with some poke from Fi. Not exactly the clean start you want for the forces of Quick Esports, as now that gives SrPeakCheck a lot of comfortable and confident positions to really set up and poke from these high grounds, like we see Ghost doing here. You will have to contest with the poke from Snowdrop, but he's able to stay well out of the reach of Dip or even Willis for the time being.
Dip on the Tracer is interesting, because against the double flex backline of Bap Juno, you can put a lot of pressure onto them, but Venture is very effective. I mean, Venture and Cass are going to be very effective at keeping you in check, so without being able to pressure out the backline without getting bullied by the front line. Fi taken down, but traded out onto Snowdrop as well, before Willis able to catch Danid way ahead of the rest of the team, and suddenly it's a couple of stranded members of SrPeakCheck all up the creek and no paddle in sight. You have to count the point.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are.
And I see an interesting pick there. We saw Fire go over to Soldier Mill. I'm not sure why, but he's going back over onto this Cassidy instead. And Dip, almost getting caught out early, will manage to skirt away for the time being, but looks to be a very aggressive kill box being set up here by the side of Quick Esports. They don't want to let SrPeakCheck get onto the point and get them poking from these nice long angles, and Dip slurking around all the way on the post, especially now that Obliterate is out. He has to find a big connection here. That all Willis's hazard ult, but it seems to be that Quick are just going to barely juggle onto the point here. Ghost Lamp already been forced out. There's the pulse on for good measure, and Ghost just leave the poor boy alone. He's already dead. Yes, he employed the window. Yes, the trade comes through because of it, but it's all a drop in the ocean at the end.
I love watching Bat players, because either they are tearing up the lobby, dealing like millions of points in damage and healing and just lasering people down, or they're just dead off cooldown. And Ghost sort of learned the hard way what happens when you run a BAP into, a Tracer, Lucio, Kiri hazard combo, and the peel from the rest of your team is not absolutely flawless. Danid going to be going in a little aggressively, returns to the rest of the team. That's going to be a nice use, almost Ajax's Natsuki out of the sound barrier, but it will be for Nort, as that is going to delay the execution here for the rest of Quick Esports. Willis is getting bullied out here. You can only block for so long, but that wall's able to catch Ilpi out. Yes, the tank presence is gone for Quick Esports, but a lot of healing now gone for the side of SrPeakCheck. But yeah, the late kill onto Johan, Ghost eventually going to be lasering down perfectly.
Ooh,
I say, as Dip gets a nice stick in. Dip isn't even on the Genji and is still managing to do it on the Tracer. Now it's a 1v1 on the point. It's a Venture versus a Tracer, and it's not going to be a fair fight anymore, because the hazard is back in here. Ilpi can catch Snowdrop in the engage. The point isn't even flipped yet, but finally Quick Esports going to take it, and Dip, again, the MVP of that fight, and probably the MVP of this series thus far.
Yeah, no one SrPeakCheck is able to shut down. His Fi has so many other threats to be worried about, and Dip knows very well aware to keep away from striking distance from the Viper waiting at his Fi with a flashbang ready. And now SrPeakCheck only really have Fi's ult to work with. Yes, Ghost coming up with another window, but they haven't been effective so far. And there's going to be the early aggression. The Pincer trying to kill him, but SrPeakCheck is going to stroll on past, running away. Just fully going on, actually stroll onto the point, and now they have a window to make their presence very loud. Willis is putting up to a Hazard that could be the determining factor in this fight for Quick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just quite literally walk away from Johan's Kitsune Rush, put a window in the middle of the point for SrPeakCheck, so Quick Esports can't walk on. Now they're going to speed boost with Fi's Cassidy ult, that Deadeye, not going to catch anything. Fi taken out in the process. Danid can trade it back, but not for Natsuki. Ends up marking that flanger, taking him down, and I mean, without that venture or the cast to keep Dip in check, Dip is just going to run rampant over your lobby, over your backline, over the entirety of SrPeakCheck.
Yeah, over your nightmares as well.
Ghost has had to swap to the Kira just because of how deadly Dip is proving to be.
That is a statement. Yes, Ghost is a flex support, flex in a name, but his Baptiste is revered. It is held on a pedestal well above the rest of his supports by many, but you just need to have something else to deal with. Dip and Ghost already trying to mark him with some kunais there. You also have to be holding onto this cleanse to deal with that pulse from Cloudy. Will buy him some time to do that by getting onto the point. Darn is spotted out already by Willis. The execution, the guillotine shut down, slammed down onto the first member of SrPeakCheck. Velveteray trying to stay away. The rest of Fi will just strafe along and catch Dip cowering in the corner. Oh, you have to feel somewhat bad for him, even though he has been a monster in the lobby. But Snowdrop trying to make himself a whole different beast. But in fact, he is just a trussed-up pig ready to be consumed by the whole of SrPeakCheck as they look to take the second flashpoint here for themselves.
Yeah, and they're able to do it efficiently as well. Of course, it's a powerful ult, is the Orbital Ray, but it's the only ult that SrPeakCheck had to use into that, and they can definitely use the other 4 just to allow Ilpi to charge up to that that Orbital Ray once more, right? Of course, Cloudy's Shatter is going to be an interesting case study here, as they haven't always been particularly, how we say, hittable. Hopefully that's something that could be changed coming into this next fight. It's going to be an aggressive beat from Quick.
Yeah, and it's already paying off its dividends. Dip turning that defense into a lot of offense, finding one. The Shatter's out from Cloudy, hitting 3, but can anyone find the follow-up? It doesn't look like Adana will find 1, but that's all. It's just going to be a fadeaway for Cloudy to, to hold on to some ego there. He got his 3 with Shatter, guys. Where was team follow-up? SMH.
Guys, I shattered 3. Why no kill?
Why is my whole team already dead? What? How did this happen?
Careful, we got sponsors, my friend. You have to watch out for that. It's going to be a pulse bomb tossed in. Fire even going to get caught, despite the presence of the Suzu there. It looked like that was reserved for Cloudy, but the Suzu meant that it just faded through and got fight instead. Now that's a fight with Quick Esports. They will also use the Kitsune Rush there, so 2 ultimate fight. Just going to be Willis with the downpour, which showing that can be relatively easily dodged or blocked up by Cloudy, and Danid goes with the Tectonic Shock.
Oh, the Suzu's just not in the right time, and big connection on that Hazard, but even more so from the double support ult of SrPeakCheck, translating into a kill across the board. The point flip will come through. Johan gonna throw himself onto the point just to get a couple extra percentage. 85% rather, taken for Quick Esports. Only 1 fight they have to win, but it's gonna be a difficult one. It's gonna rely on a battle of the DPS ult. High Noon versus the Overclock from Snowdrop.
Epic rap battles of history, High Noon versus Overclock. I think initially looking at it, you have to give the Overclock more credit here. Fi has consistently been very dead whenever trying to make a play with the Deadeye, so it may be better as a bit of a defensive option to maybe buy some time here. I mean, you can see Willis has absolutely 0 respect. No one really has that much respect for the Deadeye, and Snowdrop, I mean, it's able to deny Snowdrop's Overclock, which honestly might be the best case scenario situation for how you use that Deadeye.
Yeah, it's done its purpose, buying them time, and now the SrPeakCheck are close to matching and maybe even overtaking the point progress of Quick Esports. Everyone on Quick is so low. Yoham desperate on the top now, but his own life is the one in danger instead. That mortal peril striking on through into a kill. Willis has found the trade from those wall, but Cloudy, he was building up to another shatter, but Dip yet again,
Dip doing it again?
LP, the equalizer, the grand narrative. Dip is the legend of the team at the moment, the force of good versus evil, Dip versus the world at the moment. The shatters not enough to end him there, but it will take the life of Natsuki. The rest of his team falls apart, but 3 members back for Quick Esports at 3 versus 3. Ghost has that Kitsune Rush back in his pocket. Will he have to unleash it? Dip is still holding on desperately to this point. Overtime has been triggered, but Ghost find the kill into Yoham. Dip is holding on for dear life, and
Dip is trying so hard. Dip is trying so hard right now. I can feel like the sweat coming out of this guy's monitor, leaking onto my own keyboard right now. But at the end of the day, yeah, SrPeakCheck, they were able to get back into the fight. It was actually Fi making a really good heads-up play with the Deadeye to deny Snowdrop that value. Then they were able to catch Willis going in a little too aggressive, force Yoham to use cooldowns to help them out, and then they were able to isolate the Kiri. That being said, Quick Esports able to get better positioning on this point and have 2 support ultimates to reinforce themselves, but as do SrPeakCheck.
Yeah, Darned solo will get topped up there, and that now gives SrPeakCheck the high ground with a Kiriko rush to boot. With us throwing at the hazard ult, no connection to be found though, and Fi has found Dip, the legend, shut down. But Willis looking to make sure we give some credit to the rest of the team. Oh, yeah, that's a rough situation. So you really need that ult to turn around and have any kind of clapback to Willis's onslaught there. The hazard just an uncontestable force at the moment.
If you're thinking about this from the SrPeakCheck point of view, yes, okay, you have that. You do have that ult to work with. You have the orbital ray to help you on to this next point. You should be able to take cap from it. However, you could have also had initial point control with that earlier, and just delay as long as possible into Quick's ult advantage.
Yeah, but
so I just dies anyway. Why were you not in the ray?
The scales. Trying to tip back and forth. Yeah, the orbital ray was invested, but Dip is a judge by himself. Doesn't need no scales to determine who wins this fight, because the person that wins this fight is on his team at the moment. Dip isolating Fi, mostly I think by a fault of Fi rather than a play from Dip there. It's very questionable, as you said, but I mean, there's another big question on the board. Can SrPeakCheck even touch the point here?
Yeah, and it's probably just something that we didn't see on camera, but something forced Fi to split from the rest of the team, able to get picked off, and not winning a fight with your orbital ray is like the biggest sin you can make as a Juno player. That being said, the turnaround shatter, Cloudy finally gets the opportunity to style on these fools with the shatter, basically wins the fight directly off of that one, but now final point you need to cap to bring ourselves to the final map and to stay in contention for the OWCS first stage. I mean, imagine the glory, imagine the pressure that has to be mounting for both of these teams. Quick have the advantage in terms of ults, but we've seen that, plays can be made by any of these teams at any given time.
Yoham looking to be the playmaker at the moment. He will with a clean headshot onto LP right now, but Fi has answered back. Everyone from Quebec is so scattered at the moment. Dip now left all on his lonesome behind and trying to stay alive. This 1v1 versus him versus Fi is crucial, but Ghost is able to unleash the rush on point before getting taken out. But now Fi is stuck, trying to use the high noon to give himself some more ammo, some more shots, but have to save them all for the next point. As this second one, this fourth flashpoint will go the way of Quick, now down to the map point and match point for Quick Esports here.
I mean, the Chaos fight is something that SrPeakCheck are going to be renowned to do, right? They're running a silly comp. Sometimes they won't start the fight great, so they just make the wildest play, and they did that with a huge...
I think we've just lost Egda, but apparently as well, Darned and Dip are also not losing their ones at the moment. Yoham, yet again, opening up the first kill. I'm not sure who's back, but Hopefully, Fire will be back soon. Already the first being sent back to the spawn room from that Hazard ultimate. Natsuki also investing a lot of ultimates here. The beat and that beat drop to take this first fight the way of Quick Esports. Hopefully, Egda will return to us soon. Yeah. Okay, Egda, I think is back with us.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
back with you. Sorry about that. I mean, look, I can't handle what's happening. Neither can my internet provider. That's how close this game is. But ultimately, it seems that Quick Esports, they're looking large. They're looking in charge. They're going to be coming up onto the Overclock and the Kitsune Rush. ILP has to find more value with this Orbital Ray, at least more than they did last time.
Yeah, right now it's having to use it just to sustain because no one is within the striking distance except Snowdrop because everywhere it's sniping just when fires, it's hitting headshots across the map. But Willis again, that wall taking out Ghost. One support down, but Fire on Dip just defiled right there. The corpse mangled from that headshot, and what a play, what an execution from the shot, mechanicking his way to buy yet another stay of execution from SrPeakCheck. They need to stay in this map here. You can feel it, the force is being employed from Fire and the rest of the team. The Dip, Johan, Willis, all rounding up on ultimates. Lickety Split looking at something to say.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular work here. It's going to be a Johan Kitsune rush, but Ghost can match with one of his own. Early use of the Deadeye here. You don't even care about kills here for SrPeakCheck because you have control of the point. So even if you get just an extra 10% out of that, that could make all the difference for you coming up here. Willis is eventually going to step up to Cloudy. Has to be careful of the Shatter. This fight's getting extended and extended. We're in one fight territory. Think a solo Shatter onto Willis might just do this. This pressure is mounting for both of these teams. But Danid, once more, maybe the aggression hasn't quite paid off. Johan's dead, and it's going to be the downpour that's out. ILP was caught up in it. Who else but Dip is there to follow up? Cloudy goes on to Snowdrop, takes him down. 61% on the point. There's an opportunity for SrPeakCheck here to touch the point. But how clean is the fight going to be? And what are they going to have to use? Definitely not a Kitsune Rush or a Deadeye. They got rid of those two tools a long time ago.
It's all gonna come down to the LH Cloudy Shatter or a flank from Dana, but Dip is right now showing why he is the main flanking threat. Natsuki off with him as well, rounding up close to that beat. Cloudy trying to get the hit. He's found it onto Snowdrop. Can the kill come through? Charge kill, but no, the wall stops it and the slam as well. And now there's a beat from Natsuki. All the tides going the way of Quick Esports. They want to end this here and now. Can anyone from SrPeakCheck do something? He'll find one. He'll get his one, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Darned putting his life on the line, but Johan will happily tax that quickly enough, and Quick Esports win 3-1.
And of all things that took the victory and stole it away from SrPeakCheck, who would have thought it would have been the corner of Willis's jagged wall, stopping the pin coming through, stopping the kill onto Snowdrop, meant that the sound barrier then came out from Quick Esports, and it meant that they could just, going aggressively through onto the backline, the double flex port backline, and Dip on Tracer, just tearing them to shreds once again. I mean, it's unofficial, but I know who my player of the match is, and it is Dip. If it's anyone else, you are wrong.
I think you're going to say it's Willis's wall. I was like, I'm ready. I'm down for making a wall for the wall. I think Ghost was there.
Maybe it's like an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Player of the map, maybe. The Willis's wall.
I think I have to agree with you. I think Johan was also in pretty high contention for that. He had a lot of very mechanical plays as well. I'd love to see a little bit of bias there for myself. But also, just always there. A couple of his rushes, I think, need to be cleaned up here and there. But overall, Quick were just a lot more of the effective monstrosity in this matchup. SrPeakCheck, they've been the dark horse before, but they are just a little pony today. A one-trick pony that are out of OWCS Stage 1 here, as Quick Esports will now continue their march towards that final qualification spot.
Yeah, and it's a well-earned victory. I mean, again, the 3-2 prediction came through from Cloudy. It was very nearly that. Let's not pretend that this wasn't a very, very close matchup, at least in the final few stages of it. Having a look at the page right now, Incendia Esports are up 2-1 against Team Vision, so they should be facing off against Quick Esports, unless Team Vision can make some kind of reversal here on Esperanza, which is currently being played. Explosione and Diempera both 3-0'd their respective competitors, so they will be playing in one of the lower bracket semi-finals as Quick has advanced. I think after a match like that, we all need to, chill out a little bit, back up, and refocus here, right? So we're going to go to a little break. Once we are back, we're going to have Quick Esports against either Incendia or Team Vision. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.